Okay, while you weren't looking, I went ahead and put this tank sealer in here. What I did was took some tape on the bottom, and let's peel this off. I taped up all the holes on the bottom. I'll pull some of this tape off here. This stuff seems to have done pretty well. Here's a hole that I missed. You can see where it kind of bled out of it. One up here, couple right in here, one there in the corner, and that one. Haven't pulled that tape off there yet. And taking a look inside, it looks great in there now, so that looks good. So I'll get the rest of this tape off, and I think that'll probably fix this tank. And what I plan to do now is just take a brush. I'm going to brush this stuff on the outside of the tank. It's silver colored and it looks really nice. So that'll make the tank look good. So that'll take care of the fuel tank. Now the other parts I've pretty well gotten stripped down. Here's the block. Pretty well stripped. Put a couple of O-rings on the valves here. I took the springs off, cleaned them up, put the O-rings on there so the valves can't fall into the cylinder. Getting ready to put paint on this, and got the wheels, mask off the tire portion of them. Getting ready to put some primer on those. Finally found a paint that would match pretty well with the original paint. So this is the John Deere green. This is too dark. That's sort of too dark, and this little patch here I sprayed on there just as a test. Seems to be just about a right match with the original color I found here on the inside of the flywheels. So that's what we're going to go with. So probably the next time you see this thing, it'll have some new paint on it, and we'll get it back together and finish this project up. Okay, it's official. I've got parts of this engine scattered all over the shop. Finally got some things painted. Pieces here and there. Some things yet to paint. So just trying to get things back the correct color. Here's the tank after I painted the top of it. It turned out pretty well. The bottom looks good. I think it'll be just fine. So time will tell there, and time to start getting this thing back together. So I want to start the reassembly process with the cart, of course. Got these parts painted. They look pretty decent. And it had a little 3/8 bolt through here, and just some washers, and this front bolster was just kind of a mess. And so I've come up with a solution for it. First thing I need to do is put a little grease in here where these mating surfaces run on each other. Doesn't take much. This thing was packed completely full of grease when I took it apart. So we're just going to put a little grease in there and get that lubed up. And I don't know if you can see this or not, but let me turn this over so you can see. This is the mating surface right here that mates to this surface that I greased there. So this runs together and lets it pivot and swivel. So I'm going to turn that back over. We're just going to set this back up under here. Move my grease back out of the way here. Let's just set that down in there like so. Now let me show you what the problem was here. This axle, when you run over something, has to pivot. So you know, it doesn't take much, maybe 3/4 of an inch or so. So this hole was way too big, so what I did is I machined a piece here that will just fit in there like that. and that will still allow it to, I don't know if you can see that, but that'll allow it to swivel a little bit. But then if you happen to pick up on it, it won't fall apart. So I'm just going to throw a washer in there, put a couple of nuts on it, and I'm going to jam these nuts together so they can't come loose. I'm going to give it about 1/4 of an inch there, so that's the limit right there. Then when you pick it up, it can't fall apart either, but that'll allow it to turn and swivel, and give it just a little bit of flexibility if one of the wheels would happen to run over an uneven surface. So I'm just going to jam these two nuts together, and that'll keep the bolt in place, just like that. It'll clear everything and allow things to swivel. So I think we're good there. Gives me a little bit of flexibility if it drops off into some uneven surface. So that'll be the start of the cart there. These parts hold the pull handle. They'll slip on first. I've got set screws on them. You tighten them down against the axle. Let me go get the handle. I think this handle is going to be in my way more than anything for right now while I'm getting the engine put on the cart. But anyway, it goes in there like that, and then that spaces the wheels so that the wheels can't move around in and out on the axle. So that looks pretty decent. So I'm just going to tighten those in place temporarily on the axle here. I'm not going to put the wheels on it yet because I don't want it rolling off of this table I've got it sitting on while I'm mounting the engine up. So I'm just going to put these on here for now so I don't forget them. Kind of leave it like this. There we go. Get these tightened. So let's go get the tank. Stuff scattered all over the shop. The tank's pretty cool. It's got these lips on it, and they go right on top of these, and it just slips in here, just like that. And then the engine clamps down on top of those tabs there, and holds the tank in place. So now we're ready for the engine. I'm gonna have to get the crane set up and get a hold of the engine and get ready to set it down on here next. So that'll be my next trick. I'll take this opportunity to sit down here with you for a minute. I appreciate all the comments I get. I don't have a very big channel. I really don't expect to have a very big channel. My interest is so narrow that I don't have the capability of having the content that a lot of channels that you see on YouTube. So I appreciate everybody's comments and kind of appreciate you guys sticking with me on this. If you enjoy what you're seeing, let me know, and subscribe and make a comment down below and stuff like that. When I go out on YouTube, I look for content similar to what I like to put on. I don't want a lot of over editing. I don't want music. If I want music, I'll listen to the radio. I just want information. And maybe I'm thinking some of you guys may have an engine like this, or some of the stuff I work on that you may have questions, and I have questions. So we'll work on it together and try to figure it out. But appreciate you watching, and if you like this content, let me know. If you want to see something else, if you want me to do something different, kindly let me know in the comments, and appreciate you watching. So thanks again. Hey, okay guys, got it out here, finally got it all back together. Let you have a look at it here. Looks pretty decent. So we'll see how it runs here shortly. Hey guys, a note on this crankcase breather. This is actually how it comes from the factory, and in the manual it mentions a valve in there, a crankcase pressure valve, and I did not have that on this engine. So let me show you what's going on here. I'm going to take this cap off. And I noticed when I clean these parts, there's a screen there that was kind of cocked sideways in there, not working at all. That screen in the bottom of that pipe actually holds a disc valve, and I took and cut a piece of brass here to fit over that, to just fit down in there. Let me see if I can get it down there like I want it. There it goes. It's just laying in there now on top of that screen. The object is to let air out but not let air back in, so that creates a little bit of a vacuum inside this enclosed crankcase. And what that does is it just helps keep oil from coming out around the crankshaft seals and that kind of thing. Any place where there's this throttle rod, for instance, coming out, that could leak oil. The governor rod down there could leak oil. So what you do is you put that little valve down in there. That'll allow the air to push out but not go back. Then I went and got my wife's scouring pad and confiscated it, and we put it in there, couple little pieces of that. That'll separate the oil that does come up through here. And as the engine's running, that actually controls the crankcase pressure and actually creates a little bit of a negative pressure inside the crankcase. And that holds oil in, keeps it from seeping out the seals and so forth. So I had to invent that for this engine. It wasn't on there, and I can only assume that's about what it amounted to when it comes from the factory. Well, let's sit down here and see if it'll start. I'm going to hold the intake valve open so I can pull it through. There, the mag clicked. I'm going to choke it a couple times, like that. I'm going to pull it through one more time. Let that mag click again. Choke it a couple more times. I'm going to open that about a quarter of a turn from the running setting, where it was set when it was last running. And let's see if we can get her to fire here. I'm just holding the compression. Holding the intake valve open. While I pull this around, that relieves the compression. I can pull it through by hand now. A lot easier. Because if I try it without it, it's got a lot of compression and it's hard to pull through. But if I relieve it a little bit, usually for a couple of weeks here. Been waiting on it to warm up a little bit. See if I can choke it a little more. There we go. Okay. try. Almost took. She's wanting to. Choke it a little bit more here. She's a one. Oops, missed it that time. Sometimes I just open that valve just right. It will take off. What you gotta do is figure out what they like and what they need to start. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm gonna pick you up, bring you over here, and let you listen to this valve work. Hear it clicking in there, it's working fine. Screw in this bolt here, that speeds it up. And for each speed change, you gotta do a mixture change. Fires erratically like that until you get a load on it, and it'll settle down and fire every time. I just hold the throttle closed to kill it. That way I don't have to mess up my setting there. And like I said, I'm still trying to figure out exactly the right mixture and how many times to choke it and all that kind of thing to be able to start it very, very easily and quickly. So still in the learning process on that. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Fairly common engine, easy to obtain. You know, they're not the rarest of engines, but they're very nice workhorses if you want to run an ice cream freezer or, you know, do a job with them. Be a very nice, dependable engine. Clean running, good looking on the original cart, and make somebody a nice engine. So hey, thanks again for watching.